words are really difficult.
Yeah. Well,
but if you guys have any questions, or I don't know, yeah.
No,
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying though about just this way of communicating itself. It seems to.
Well, the word is ineffable. I think she's looking for. Sometimes it's just ineffable. There's a feeling that needs to be experienced, an actual feeling, not a concept, a vague abstraction in the mind, where that doesn't require any bodily sensation.
Right. But just this. I mean, if Ray was here with us having this conversation, like face to face in the flesh, so to speak, I think it's a lot easier to understand the meanings of the words that we're trying to use because we're having a more embodied conversation.
Yeah.
Whereas this mode of communication is very ethereal and disembodied, and it's awkward because we're all framed. You know, like the camera frames us, and we don't have control over the message that we're trying to convey as much as if we were just there, present with each other.
But we do have, you know, it's not over the phone, so we see facial reactions, and humans have this quality to recognize facial reactions seemingly unparalleled to any other creature. That's something we have going for us. Why we developed facial structures the way we have.
Pretty faces.
And it seems that way. So, you know, we're not typing through IM, and we're not going through telephone. There seems to be a step up. We're making do with technology, and communicating with another perspective.
But there's a level of abstraction though that's like it's difficult to.
Well,
but it's a really amazing medium though, because if you think about it, you become extremely self-conscious, and I used to think of self-consciousness as being a really bad thing, but I realized that it's such a tool. You know, like to be self-conscious means you are more conscious, and you need to be self-conscious to then be conscious of others, and so I think it's really cool medium because you can react to yourself, and you are thinking about so many things at the same time while you're trying to get a point across, and so I consider it really valuable. I guess it's things like spirituality where I don't really even know if I would want to define it. I mean some part of me definitely does, like my logical mind wants to find an answer to it, and goes into the bank of questions and answers and comes out with nothing.
Right. I like how you say the logical.
There aren't really words.
Yeah, I like how you say the logical side, and there's this other side so there seems to be a side in us and that likes to categorize and fragment reality for practical and pragmatic kind of solutions, and then there's this other side that doesn't feel the necessity to do that, or doesn't feel like it's important. It just
or even the possibility of doing it.
Or even the possibility is confusing to it, because it seems like you're fragmenting wholeness or oneness or experience. Instead of being in the now, you're in past and future. You're thinking about your future vacation. You're thinking about your past lovers or past things that you could have learned from. So there's these two different elements, wavelengths going on in the individual. Some kind of gravitate towards a more linear past-future categorical type of worldview, and some like to be more in this embracive, all-inclusive worldview. But they have different kind of practical values, don't you think? I mean, sometimes you need to be detailed down to the point.
This is exactly what I can show you. Well, this is the book I was telling you about. I'm reading this. The cover fell off, but I am reading a book and about basically it's very similar. He considers reality to be based in quality, and then from there there's the romantic and the classical ways of seeing the world. So the romantic being kind of big picture type thing, I don't want to put things into boxes, I just see it as what it is, and it is beautiful. And the other side of it being labeling, so that we can understand, so that we can compute and move forward, right? So yeah, it's trying to find a balance between those extremes. And what Robert Pirsig, I don't know how to pronounce his name, what he suggests is that quality is the kind of the connection between the two. Quality being, what is the quality of something, the experience of something? Is it an objective thing or a subjective thing? And can you really, I don't know, where does that come in? And I'm still spinning on that thought. I've been for a little while.
Well, it seems like, I mean, to get these two poles to go together, the classical and the romantic or the linear, logical, and the more complex and holistic and musical. It seems like, I mean, the way I try to deal with it is I think of reality itself, rather than just being one finished whole or being made of a bunch of teeny little parts. It's both at the same time.
Hold on.
Right, there you go.
She's quick.
But the idea is that reality is unfinished. It's not completed yet. And so we as individual parts are always contributing to the whole, which is always trying to make itself, but never succeeds. So
right.
It's like...
But would that mean instead, at the same time, well, of course that would mean at the same time that we as individual beings are also trying to complete ourselves, right? And in the same way, it would mirror.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, so as we try to kind of like reach our highest self, so is the reality around us, is what you're saying?
Right.
Kind of like the world, the whole, the thing that we're all putting together.
But exactly. But if we actually did become whole, we would cease to exist. There's nothing left to do anymore, you know?
Well, but that's like, but we cease to exist on the level that we understand existence to be, right? I mean, because what we're seeing is what we're seeing. We can't see past it. It's like, you know that whatever, you could have a million metaphors for that, but
right.
Sorry, can I interrupt you two both? I really need to pee. Is that okay?
Go for it. number
Got
one?
to go number one. Yes.
All right.
Enjoy.
Take time.
Has my plate.
We'll just continue here. But
yeah. So the whole on, the whole on thing's interesting, because I guess I can accept that. I need to experience it though, and until that point, it's just a thought, and it's like with every other thought, I don't know if it really even beats out the other thoughts, you know. And this is where I could really benefit from having a linear, more classical, even though it's so confusing because I do have a very classical mind. Like I do like to logically look through things and break them up so that I can understand them, but at the same time, don't when it comes to specific things. Anyway, like say the other day something was happening, something extremely emotional. I was feeling really like torn between different parts of myself, and had no way of classically breaking it down. I couldn't look at it. I was just feeling it and feeling so overwhelmed by it all. And that's emotion. That's the whole point.
Right.
Like you can't necessarily, you could if you wanted to, but it doesn't make it better, it seems. And it seems like making it better is what we would want to do from talking about it, or...
No, it's like you could understand logically that the emotion you're feeling makes no sense, but that doesn't change the emotion, right?
No.
And yeah, you're right, emotions are kind of
almost makes
ambiguous too.
Yeah.
You don't know what they really mean sometimes.
But at the same time, it does make it better because then you can laugh about it. Or like for me, I use laughing as a tool. I think some people use crying as a tool or use anger as a tool, but for me, laughing really helps. So like, yeah, you can say, okay, this doesn't make any sense. Like I'm feeling really weird about something that if I look at all the signs and if I look at my belief system, I'm okay with this actually. It's not really a big deal, but you still have those emotions. So I guess to also have that emotional maturity to just look at what you're going through and just accept it, and just like take a long nap or something. I don't know.
Right.
Drink some tea and talk to your grandma or something. I don't know what helps. I
mean, there's people out there that value the objective so much. I would say the more reductionist or masculine.
I hate those words.
These are all words.
Objective and subjective specifically. I hate those
That's
words.
a subjective interpretation of the words. So.
I hate those words.
They're very,
So if you find...
Yeah, those words are weird.
Well, yeah, that's right. A lot of people do hate words and they don't like...
No, I love words. I just don't like those two.
Those
anyway,
words.
I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish what you're saying.
He's really angry right now, ladies. I'm just saying. But anyways, these words, these pointers is what they are. They're pointing at a concept. So the words are like signposts. You're saying I hate the signpost to LA. You don't actually hate LA or something, right? Or you hate the wrong pointer, right? From your point of view, it's the wrong one.
Not that LA is a great place. I might actually...
sorry, I'm just using it as a destination. You hate that too, or no?
So, can we find a better one then for this conversation? Can we find a better one? Like, subjective being like...
interior versus exterior?
Yeah, your interior, your personal, your... like, because if we're going to think of it as being like... I don't know,
well,
the two parts of the whole on it.
Well, Ray, here's the thing. I mean, after reading a lot of Wilbur, it seems a lot for me is to get away from the subjective objective, to see this. You see reality in this kind of third dimension, this subjective, objective, intersubjective, all kind of arising together. It gives you another dimension of reality, and you start seeing things like, okay, yeah, there is a first-person dimension or an interior subjective experience happening. I am aware of that. I, Ray, am aware. I, Matt, am aware of that. Okay, and now we're communicating to each other right now.